Good Sunday afternoon, and thanks for wrapping up your weekend with us. First at 5:30, the celebratory drive home for AA state wrestling champs Great Falls High resulted in a rollover accident earlier this morning. Great Falls Public Schools Assistant Superintendent Tom Moore says a Great Falls High School van rolled around 1 this morning. Moore says the van was following the team bus on the way home from the state wrestling tournament in Billings when the van hit icy roads and windy conditions. 6 student athletes were in the vehicle driven by one of the assistant coaches. Moore says coaches on the bus called emergency responders who cleared all passengers for travel to Great Falls. No citations were issued and no one was seriously injured. Severe driving conditions for most of the state have been lifted as the sunshine reappeared today. Let's head over to the Storm Tracker Weather Center to see what we can expect to kick off our week. Claire?
Well, Jen, temperatures are going to start warming, but as of right now, temperatures have been very cool today, just like we were seeing. Even with the sunshine, it's making it very cold out there. Now, we aren't seeing a lot of snow up in the Glasgow area. They are seeing that snow the past few hours, but most of us have just been seeing some clouds today, even some sunshine. But here's a look at the current temperatures. This is what it feels like out there, and it's cold, so please be careful driving again as we head into tonight as the temperatures continue to cool. But I'll have a complete look at your forecast coming up. Back to you, Jen.
All right, thanks, Claire. For the second year in a row, one organization in town is saying thank you to 4 military men who gave their lives to save others. American Legion Post 341 held a public memorial this afternoon to remember 4 United States Army chaplains who died in World War II. The 4 chaplains were aboard the U.S. Army transport ship Dorchester when it was hit by a torpedo and sank. These men spread out on the ship to help the wounded and dying and even gave up their own life jackets to save others aboard. They then linked arms as the ship went down, praying and sang hymns before dying together.
What greater tribute than just to come back and say once in a while, say thank you for these people.
Ceremony included music, advancement of the colors by the Military Marine Corps League, Detachment 688, and an address from a Malmstrom Air Force Base chaplain. One man has learned how to take rare woods and turn them into special pens. But as MTN's Tara Grimes shows us, the art of making these pens has become far more than just a business.
Every single pen, every collection that I make has a story behind it.
Within the creation of each of these pens comes a source of calm for U.S. Air Force Captain Gerard Matlock.
I have PTSD.
It started while serving 10.5 years in the military, including 2 tours in Iraq. This landed him in an outpatient program at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. And before leaving, he picked up 2 wooden pens that needed to be created from an arts and crafts cart.
On my way back, I made the wooden pen, but I messed it up. I didn't make it right at all. But I really loved doing it. I was on the airplane doing it. And I really loved doing it. So I did research. It took me about 2.5, 3 weeks. And I did research on how to fix the pen. And on Thanksgiving Day, I fixed the pen, which is this pen right here, and I made 3 more pens.
Since then, he's gone on to make nearly 100 pens from scratch. The soft, calm music he plays and the patience and focus it takes to do so have helped Matlock deal with his PTSD symptoms.
I don't get flashbacks while I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm not jumping at every single sound that I hear while I'm doing this either. All these sounds are comfortable and known to me.
But not only does it provide therapy for him, it's also brought in business. And that's because each of these pens are unique in their own way.
These 2 are made out of the world's rarest woods. This is my everyday pen, which is a bullet pen. This one here, I kind of like this one. It's called Camel Thorn. It's out of Africa.
And now that Matlock is being honorably discharged from the only life he's ever known, it's each of these pens that are helping him to write the next chapter of his life story, while also dealing with the past. In Great Falls, Tara Grimes, MTN News.
Matlock also donates 10% of his sales of the bullet pens to the Wounded Warriors Project. To find out how you can order one of these pens, view this story on our website. The Assistant Secretary of the Army Corps of Engineers says the Corps will resist efforts by downstream states for the increased flow of water to the Mississippi River. The pledge is in response to protecting water levels along the Missouri River and attempts by lower Mississippi states to increase flows to ease the effects of drought conditions. Joellen Darcy says the Corps will abide by its so-called master manual so upstream states like Montana aren't dealing with the severe water shortages along the Missouri.
Requests from Mississippi states or even lower Missouri states to change the manual just on the basis of a one-year event.
Right. We, as you noted earlier, last summer we were fighting floods, this summer we're fighting a drought. And the purpose of the master manual is to be able to manage that Missouri River system for both instances.
The Corps' master manual was developed over more than a decade to guard against water shortages in northern Missouri states in reaction to single-year shortages elsewhere. Baucus and Senator John Tester say the shortages in Montana jeopardize the state's tourism and recreation industries. Residents celebrate the Year of the Snake today, marking the start of the new Chinese calendar. The Holter joined up with the Lewis and Clark Library because all month long they're celebrating Chinese heritage with their big read. The Helena chapter of Families with Children from China also participated, which supports families that adopt and want to actively participate in Chinese cultural programs. Kids were able to make crafts, eat dumplings, and walk in a parade.
The dragon parade is traditional, and the dragon is something that we did last year with a large group of kids. So we actually made the dragon, and it's very exciting to see him come out again this year.
This is the second year the Holter Museum hosted a celebration for the Chinese New Year. Now it's nice to see that sunshine is back versus last night we were talking about that snow that moved in so quickly.
I know, and what a shame, you know, the driving condition, just like we saw that accident, it got very cold out there with the snow on there, very slick. And what do you know, the sunshine's back and the temperatures are starting to rise back to above seasonal average. But for tonight, it's still going to be a bit chilly. Here's a look at our lows for tonight, down to the teens for most parts of our area. Single digits along the High Line and out in Glasgow. Coming up, I'll have a complete look at your forecast.